Hi, good evening, a good morning, a good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. This is Chris Petri. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a quick, simple scene of, let's say, a bay or an ocean with some ships. Um, we're going to keep it simple and not fuss too much. We have our simple watercolor tools here. We have a nice pencil, mechanical pencil, and a couple brushes, watercolor brushes, round brushes with good points. And if I dip them in water, we'll get a better point on them. And find some water. And with a little bit of water, and we shake off a little bit of the water, and we have some nice points on there. We have some rough watercolor paper, and I have a small piece here trimmed up, and I have artist tape around it. That makes a nice border. You'll usually see me put the border on with some artist tape, and this way when you're finished painting, even if you're just doing small compositions or little studies, it's just fun when you pull out the tape. You have a nice little keepsake of your work and your progress and so forth as you go, and you can file it away in a box or in a folder or in a drawer, and you have your work neatly organized and for reference. I like to sometimes have my work organized a little bit by subject matter, so I might have like a folder, like a manila folder with like all my water scenes like seascapes and boats, and then maybe another one for landscapes and so forth. So I like to do that. And we're gonna I'm just imagining a scene here. I'm not really working from a photograph today. I'm just gonna have an idea of maybe some water. So there's a water line here, and I'm pretending this is like a calm bay scene maybe, and there's some larger ships here and boats. And so I'll just put some boat ideas here. And I'm doing the masts for the boats for the sails. So these would be the masts and the sails, and just indications. Nothing too accurate or anything like that. Just having fun and doing a little ID here of some. This would be the reflections in the water. If it's really choppy water and really rough waters, you really don't see shadows too much. So here it's going to be very calm, like a bay, and there's not much choppiness to the water. It's kind of a calm day on the seas here, and so we're just going to pretend that it's a quiet day on the sea here, and so that's about our sketch here, and maybe a sailboat there. And then if you wanted to put in a little bit of ideas of clouds, maybe like where you might want to be putting some of the lighter cloud colors, you can do that. So I'm just doing that just to kind of divide up a little bit of white paper where I know I'm going to kind of leave some white clouds. And that's about it for our sketch part, our contour drawing, our sketch. We're just roughing this in. And we'll go into some water. Now here we're going to do the method of glazing method of light to dark. So we're going to go with the light tonal values first. So I'm going to, my palette's all ready to go. It's cleaned off with paper towels before I start. And I got all my colors. I sprayed them with water a little bit for them an hour ago, and they're nice and moist and ready to use here. And we're gonna go in and we'll get some colors here. Maybe we'll use some cobalt blue for the sky. We'll mix in some raw sienna. make it simple. A little bit of cerulean too, maybe. Maybe a touch of mineral violet, some purple. So that'll be our sky and watercolors, essentially. And we're just going to go in and I'm going to do the blue sky part first. And then go right down into the water. Then I'll use some of the raw sienna towards the bottom here. And a little raw sienna in the clouds. And as you work with wet and wet, you can add in a little darker tonal values if you want, but you have to do it really quick right at this point. You don't want to wait too long, so you always want to do when you're doing a lot of water on your watercolor paper and you're doing a pretty light wash with a lot of water, definitely do everything quick at first and then let it dry. So it's just a matter of doing it quick, getting it on, and letting it go and letting it dry some. Okay, that's good. I might enhance the drying enhance the drying time right now by using a blow dryer. So I will use the blow dryer to dry this so we can keep working. It's better if you let it dry naturally. It looks better actually when you use a blow dryer to dry things. I'd say only do it in emergencies if you really have to, and other than that you want to let it dry naturally. So after you did this part, let's say if we're painting and we're doing this part, then we would let this dry for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, depends on the weather, how warm or hot it is. And you can come back in like 15, 20 minutes and then keep working. So I definitely think it's not really good to use the blow dryer. I use it just because we're doing this demo here. So I want to try to keep working. So you can probably see it's starting to dry off, and it's pretty good now, I think. Okay, so we've dried our paper, and we're ready to start doing our second glazing. Second glazing is the fun part. That's when the picture starts to really shape up and look really good, and the details are in view. So as always, I wipe up my palette, take all the colors off, all the paint, and we're ready to start our second glazing. Now this part of the painting, I'm going to use a smaller brush, so I'm going to go with like a 4 on my Escoda, and we'll just here we're going to mix our paint ahead of time. Now this is a really good technique we're working in a smaller painting, more of a smaller composition here, so if you're working larger on a larger painting, it's definitely beneficial in a very key fashion if you mix ahead of time with your paints. But if you're working on a smaller composition, you can maybe just work slowly and work from your paint supply as you go. But on a larger painting, you definitely have to mix everything up ahead of time. Not everything, but try to keep ahead of things a little bit. So I'm going to put out some color. I'm keeping this color scheme on this painting pretty simple. Here you'll notice that the paint is very uh, vibrant in color, darker tonal values, and I've used way less water, so I'm using way less water here, much more paint, and this way we can get that darker tonal value on our. Now here this is a composition. I don't consider this right now a finished painting. And I think I will get even I'm going to use a needlepoint brush in a second to get some of the sails looking a little better. And here I'm trying to change the colors around using all different mixtures so that there's lots of variation here. And the same with the reflections. We try to keep them, vary them. If we can keep the colors a little much the same, that's maybe a little better. A little bit of splashing here. Okay, and we'll go over here. Again, we're varying our colors. This is a fun sketch to do. A fun small composition to practice and just have fun with, and not, be carefree, and there's no worries. It's not a competition or anything, or no one's looking over our shoulders here to complain, or we're just having fun and enjoying the watercolor medium, and that's what it's about. And we'll just, alright, this is about looking good. We're a little bit of water. Okay, and then we're looking good. I was looking for my finer point brush, but I think this is good. So this is a nice quick boat scene with some ships on some calm water, and we'll see you next time. Everyone, have a great evening, a great morning, and a great day. Bye-bye.